Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. Want to bring you guys an update on Digibyte. I know some people have been asking about it, so I'm going to do my best for you. We're going to be looking at Digibyte on the one-day chart, and we're going to dig into this, and we're going to talk about Digibyte right now getting outside of this trend line of this symmetrical triangle that we are in. So we're going to dig into that. If you guys could like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're trying for 100 likes on this video. Each and every one of you has been killing it for me, and I'm very appreciative and grateful. And like I said, I'm going to continue to put out these videos, and hopefully people are learning from them, and we can all work together as a team here. We can figure out this market the best that we can. So guys, moon them up, and we'll get into this. And I want this to be a little bit quicker as well. So what we're looking for here, guys, this bottom trend line, we're going off these wicks here. You can see our bottom trend line, we had higher lows that were put in. And then up top here, we had lower highs that have been put in. So what that was forming was our symmetrical triangle. Now this was almost like a descending triangle if this would have had a flat bottom here. If we would have came down and double bottom, then we would have had that flat descending triangle, which most of the time they break to the downside. Now remember, with symmetrical triangles, they can break either way, but a lot of the times they end up breaking with the trend, and the trend still has been down. So keep that in mind. I want you all to really still keep that in mind, that we've been in a 13-month bear market, and we have to be aware of that we still need to make these higher highs, and they have to come in for us to start looking bullish in the long term. Obviously short term, guys, you're seeing the trend change here. You have short term, intermediate, and then you have long term trends. But what I like to see is that we are breaking out of this downward trend line. Now today's close is going to be everything. If we were to close right outside of this, yes, we would have a close outside of it, but it almost looks like a top doji candle from that move. So we may come down and test maybe this 20 EMA or this 50 EMA and see if we can hold that, or we could come back and just test this trend line. Because sometimes, guys, you'll have breaks where you come up out of this and you come all the way up here, then you come all the way back, test this trend line before you move up higher. That's a possibility. Sometimes you just break clean out of them, and other times you'll break up, you'll have a fake out. So like this, it would come up here and then you would drop down and actually end up making a lower low. And I've done a lot of studying on trendline and trendline breaks and everything, and those are the three scenarios that you can have. So you want to be very patient right now. You don't want to just see this how it is right now and say, we're outside the trend line, I'm jumping in right now with everything that I have. You don't want to do that. You just want to be patient and calm and make sure these things get followed through. I do like the volume that's coming in on Digibyte, though. It is nice to see a little bit of volume. I know some of the exchanges can be manipulated a little bit, but this volume is a good thing to see. Next thing I would want to see is the 20 EMA right here, this moving average, moving over top of our 50 moving average, which is in blue. Now if we get that coming out of this trend line, so we would get that golden cross coming out of that trend line, that could propel us up. And where I have as resistance markers are these red lines right here. So it would be, our first stop would be 0.0124. Our next stop up above that would be 0.0143. Those would be the areas. Now, if Digibyte's able to start getting through these, guys, remember what you want to see is consolidation on top of these areas. So that's where you move sideways for a while, and then you would have the next move up. But if we're able to get through the overhead resistance that I was showing you, the next shot would probably be an attempt at this 200-day moving average. Now, Digibyte still has a good distance away from this 200-day moving average on the one day, which means we're still in that bear market. For us to be in that bull market, turning bull market, we would want to see a sustained close up above that 200-day moving average with volume, with confirmation, and to stay up above that. And we're not there yet, guys. We're trying to get up above this 20 EMA, which we have been up above, and we're trying to get or stay up above this 50 moving average. And obviously the 100 would be coming down in here. I didn't have the moving average indicator on for it, but those are going to be the tests for Digibyte. If it can break through, though, guys, this is huge gains. If you can go from this 0.0142 all the way up to this 200-day, even if we see a little rejection here, get pushed back down, and then continue to follow up, that's a great possibility. But look how low we have gotten. What I'm going to do is zoom out next for you. Look how low we've retraced. And you can see this pattern now. So are we going to break up out of this? Or is this going to be a break to the downside, and we could potentially try a double bottom before we start reversing the trend? But I'm glad to see we're up above that 20 EMA. It's been a while since we've been up above it. It's been riding us hard. So that's a very powerful and strong indicator I want you guys to pay attention to. So I'm going to get this line off here. And what you're looking for are areas where we basically blasted off before as support. Now on the macro, this is where I would look at this area right down around in here, and that's off this rounded bottom. Whenever you see a rounded bottom, you're going to start to get that explosion. You saw it in the LTC BTC pair. You start to get that rounded bottom I was calling, and then boom, you break up. Now it almost looks like Digibyte starting to get that just a little bit, but you can see we're down right around this area. We've done a lot of retracing, so hopefully the trend is going to continue to change, and what we're going to see that do is first go on the 20 EMA, then the 50, then the 100, then the 200, get back up above that and roll. And remember those moving average gaps we talked about. Whenever you see a huge gap, do you see how far this price gapped away from this 200-day moving average? Always know that it's going to get pulled back to that. Just like most likely here, it will get pulled back to that. It acts as like a magnet, is what I've studied. So, you know, whenever you have something that blasts away and you get one of those gaps, just know you probably want to sell up in here because it's going to be coming back down. Look over here. Do you see this huge gap from this 200-day moving average? Big gap. What happened, guys? It spiked all the way up, came all the way back down and even below it. So that's one of the main focuses of my channel, is I don't want people FOMOing and getting into coins and all of a sudden you have this big pullback. I've been there. We've all been there where we bought something, we're all excited, it looks like a textbook breakout, and then all of a sudden, boom, it pulls back on you. So I'm just trying to step back and be more conservative and take the more conservative approach and look for those things so I can clearly say to you guys, yeah, you know, I think we're in that bull market finally. It's started. But I can't say that yet for Digibyte until we get up above that 200-day moving average, and it's very important that we get up above that for Bitcoin as well. I know Litecoin is up above it now, and we're going to have to continue to watch that and see how long that lasts, because it's good if Ethereum or Litecoin or one of these coins starts to do that, because it could drag the rest of the market with it. So in cryptocurrency, I root for all coins. You know, I want everything to do well, because it's the overall space that I want to see do well. You know, there's some people who take sides and say, I'm only on Litecoin side, or I'm only on Digibyte side, or I'm only on Neo side, this or that. Guys, root for all the projects and hope that they go well, because that's more money entering this space. The more money in this space, a rising tide lifts all ships. You know, and if you have your money in some decent ones, Litecoin could bring up Bitcoin, or Ethereum could bring up Bitcoin and Litecoin. You know, that's just how it works. So I root for all those things to do well. But, you know, that's just me. That's what I'm looking at. Quick little Digibyte update. If you guys continue to like these and enjoy these, I'll continue to put them out. Like I said, I want to try for Digibyte, you know, at least once a week, once every 3 days, something along those lines, to really isolate it and do technical analysis by itself. Sometimes I've lumped them in with like Bitcoin or everything, but it's nice just to really break this down and go into it. You know what, one quick thing, I apologize for holding you guys, but I want to check in on the 4 hour real quick just to see what that's looking like on the short term for you. 1 second. Do you see this rounded bottom? It's kind of taking place here, guys. So now on the 4 hour, you can really see it, and now we're up above. We're trying to hold that 20 EMA. We had the crossover, the 200. We have the 50 crossover, so there's that golden cross, but we're starting to get the gap. So if we have some type of pullback, don't be shocked or go crazy. But we need to hold these first at how it starts on the 1 hour, then the 4 hour, then the 8, then the 12, and we want to turn these moving averages into support, because they've been acting as resistance for so long. So this is a start, guys. The fact that Digibyte is up above the 200-day moving average on the 4 hour chart, that's exciting. And what you can do is click through. So that's on the 4 hour. Now let's see where we lose them. Here's the 12 hour. So we're up above the 20 and the 50 on the 12 hour. See that? And look what happened. We ran right into that 200-day moving average. You see how we wicked into that? And then we got pushed back down. Now we're kind of having this doji candle. That's what happens. People will take profits. A lot of times you don't break something like that on the first try. You'll come up, you'll hit it, you'll come back down to like this 20 EMA or this top over here. You'll power back up again, and then you drive up through. So that's why pullbacks are good. Do you see this here? We had this nice shot up here. Then we pulled back, and then we made it higher. And that's where the higher highs, higher lows. So they have been coming in here. So now we're going to have to see if we can set a higher low and then eventually get up over top of this 200-day moving average. So that's what I'm about, guys. I'm about identifying the trends. Do you see here the lower highs and lower lows? And then once they reversed, here's that first higher low. And then here's our higher high from here. Higher high, higher low. higher high, and now let's see where this higher low is going to land. But these are some of my thoughts on Digibyte. Just wanted to dig in with you all and know that really put these things into play, like these moving averages. When they gap away that far and stuff, take your profits. Don't be afraid to take profits, and then hold that profit that you have, that money, and then let the coin drop down to where you're looking at, and you're able to make more of them. It's not like you're getting out of cryptocurrency forever. It's you're trying to make more coins without paying for them out of your bank account. That's what I'm trying to help people figure out how to do best that I can. But so thankful for all of you. Pay attention to this rounded bottom. We do have some bearish volume coming in here. We have that doji candle, 200-day moving average. So don't be surprised if we do have a little pullback here. But God bless you all.